This is my bedroom, and this is the corner of my bedroom that's designated a half-dirty clothes pile. For the longest time, I was completely fine with putting my half-dirty clothes on the floor. That was until I saw this. Oh shit. To fix this, today we're going to be designing a hanger for our half-dirty clothes. Okay, for those of you uninitiated, environmentally evil, or just too filthy to put their clothes in the wash, half-dirty clothes are essentially just clothes that have been only worn once or twice, too clean to be put in the wash, but too dirty to put back in your wardrobe. Us as a species have decided to put these items on chairs, on the floor, on your couch, just anywhere but the wardrobe or the washer. Oh, and by the way, I'm Jackie. I'm a videographer, photographer based in Brooklyn, New York, and more recently, a self-proclaimed product designer. And to start off, let's design something that can fix my problem with a little more specificity. And with every project start, we need specifications. First, it has to get the half-dirty clothes off the floor. This is a must, or there's no point doing this. The second is it has to be collapsible or storageable. Storable. It has to be collapsible or storable. As you can see here in New York City and in my apartment, there's not a lot of space to do much of anything or put things anywhere. It needs to be neat and tidy, and it can be like put somewhere away where it won't be just in the way. The last and most important part of this is it has to be good looking. I'd like to think that my designs and tastes are pretty good, but as long as Cindy says okay with them, then it's okay. And with that out of the way, let's start brainstorming some ideas. Wait, why make something? Why don't you just buy like a wall hook and hang your clothes there? That's true, but there's only a limited amount of clothes you could put on a wall hook. And who's gonna hang pants or shirts? I don't think that's gonna work. Okay, well, instead of making a design that's like a wall hook, make it longer, so instead of hanging, you're draping over the clothes, or just have more room to put more stuff on. Yeah, but that would be too intrusive, I think, or too big. Besides, I don't have the 3D printing bed for that. Ooh, how about a collapsible design? A wall-mounted, maybe foldable, so you could put it out, hang your clothes, or drape them, and then put them back. Yeah, I like that. But now we've introduced a whole new problem. How the do you design something that's collapsible, foldable, and how do you even 3D print that? Up until this point, all my 3D prints have been one piece or two pieces designed to sit somewhere and not move at all, or you put stuff on it, whatever. I've been basically looking at hinges, living hinges, springs, different mechanisms that would allow my design to compact into itself or make it smaller. But even when I was researching, there wasn't really a design that stood out to me. That was until I was designing something else, a compartment or a holder for all my camera cleaning tools. And I was looking closely at one of my camera cleaning tools. So this is a multi-tool from Small Rig that I've been using for a really long time. So the way it works is there's two large pieces, and held together with screws, there's mini tools in the middle that fold out like this. There's basically two washers that allow it to move freely, but also enough pressure where you can hold it at any point and it would hold still instead of kind of dropping with gravity. There's enough pressure from both sides that it can hold in place. If it ever loosens, you can just screw it in so you can adjust the tension of how, I guess, the tools are held together. This sparked a new idea in me. Imagine instead of having two columns of tools here, there's one big piece that folds down. So imagine it was this piece, but a little longer. When you have that, you can put the clothes here and it'd be pressured from both sides where the clothes would hold here and it wouldn't move. Of course, there's a weight limit to it, but that's the idea. So it'd be longer so you can drape clothes over it. It'd be collapsible because it just looked like this on the wall. So imagine you had a wall panel here, I guess. And then if you need it, it can just come out like that. I think I can work with this sort of idea of a foldable multi-tool and bring that into what I want to do with this 3D print. So now that I know the design is going to be based off of this, well, there's only one thing left to do. Try to design it. So the design took about 4 to 5 hours to finish in totality because I had quite a strong idea in terms of how I want it to look. I wanted to be minimal, I wanted it to be not intrusive and not in the way, and basically have a similar design style and, or I guess, language to what I've designed previously before. I'm not going to bore you by playing the entirety of my designing process, but I just wanted to highlight several key facts that helped me design what I wanted to make at the end. In terms of shape, I was deciding whether to have it as a rectangle or a square, and I eventually ended up in a square just because of how symmetric it would look. I designed it as a rectangle initially, and something about it when I looked at it from afar didn't look quite right in a sense, so putting it as a square, making it a little smaller seemed like the better move. And I know what you might be thinking, if you put it as a square, wouldn't it be too small to drape clothes over? And to fix that, I kind of created an extension in the middle of the square, so I made it a little thicker. When you fold down the middle, I guess, hanger portion, I've designed it so there's a little flap that can kind of extend outwards, kind of like how you see in printers where there's like a larger flap that allows the paper to go through. I try to keep the design as minimal as possible, not adding too many things. So when you attach it on the wall, it's actually just one solid piece of square. Maybe you'll able to see the gaps between the two sides and the middle because of the washers, but other than that, it should be relatively simple. But we still have one big problem. I actually can't print my design, the printer that I have. The dimensions of the print bed are 180 millimeters by 180 millimeters. My design is larger than the print bed. So I'm not sure what I can do about that. Unless you called. This is so stupid. This is the Anycubic Cobra S1 combo. Wait, is it? Yeah, it is. Nice. So while I unboxed the Cobra S1 combo, I wanted to quickly talk about how I even got this 3D printer, as well as what I think about it after using it for a couple of days. So essentially, Anycubic reached out to me a couple weeks back saying that, hey, they love some of my videos and they'd love to collaborate in some sort of way. And that was a perfect timing for me because I was just about to start on another project, which is this. So yeah, that was basically it. There's no money involved in this. It was just, they sent me out, they said, hey, feel free to do a review or whatever you want to do with it. Oh my god. We have encountered another problem that was kind of unexpected. This thing is too big, and that's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because I don't have any space for it. And right now I've been kicked out of the study because there's no space for it. So we're gonna try to do this in a living room for now, before dinner time. Yeah. Along with this, they kindly sent over some filaments to try and test out. This was awesome. Thank you so much, Anycubic. Honestly, when they reached out and wanted to send me this printer, I was a little bit hesitant. Through my online research, it seemed to be a little bit mixed. At least on Reddit, it was a little mixed. And on YouTube, it was primarily positive. Okay, we've changed camera angles many times now, but we think it's gonna go here. We've moved, if you hadn't noticed, there was like a white shelf. And it's moved over there. This 3D printer is gonna go here. I'm gonna try to finish setting it up, and then, yeah, we'll go from there. God, this thing's heavy. Okay. My experience with it so far after having it used for, I think, like a week now, there's no problems at all. In terms of the print, it prints perfect. This is the first time of me using an enclosed 3D printer, and it's amazing. I think the temperature control is just much better, and having the dry function on this 3D printer is just, my prints have been crisp. If you do care about some of the specs, I'll talk about the things that matter to me most. It's enclosed. It has a carbon filter in the back that it's like a fan, and then you kind of slot in the carbon bag. And the Ace Pro has been amazing so far. It dries filament as it's printing, and that's really important for me because New York is kind of humid. I don't know what more I can ask for in this case, because it is really nice. Hope I didn't glaze too much. I think this is a great printer. Thank you, Anycubic, for sending this out. Back to the video. All right, so there are a lot of things going on right now. I got two 3D printers printing at the same time. It's like I'm starting my own farm here. But I figured this is a good time to do this because all the parts finished printing. This kind of lever system that folds out came out to be perfect the way I thought it would be. The reason why there's a gap is so I can like push it in and out. There's like a little bit of flexibility that allows it to be pushed in. So now it's secure, folds back in perfectly, and then folds out perfectly. Really flat too. Nice job. Now comes the hard part, or the part that when I did like a testing, it didn't work the way I expected it to. What I thought would happen is I would have the washer here, and then the side here. That actually didn't work in my testing, but what did work was side and then washer here to stop the screw from completely going through it. I have these two like IKEA screws from their wall kit that seem to work really well. So I'm gonna try to use that again. It worked in my test, so I'm sure it'll work now. Or I guess we'll find out if it doesn't work. Put a washer in. You can't see my face, but I'm excited. Before I had put like a thread on it, and it didn't print the thread, so I just ended up just making a hole and making it a little smaller. Ooh, this is gonna work. I feel the tension. Line it up. And let's see if it works. Folding down. Oh, that works. Okay, the left is kind of too tight. I can loosen it a little bit, and I want to tighten this side a little more. Oh, hell yeah. Yo, that looks good. And then it'll just come up like that. And then on the wall, it'll hold itself like this. Dude, I'm crazy with it. And then it'll fold itself back up just like that. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, let me get the, okay, hold on. Let me get the tape. Okay, all four taped. We're gonna go try to put this on the wall. All right, we're back where we are at the beginning of the video. In my bedroom. Maybe like here?
Wait, you're sure it's gonna work? Bending downwards.
I think I can just make it tighter. I think it'll be fine. There was a little problem. So the way I had designed it, I had put like a little ledge at the back here to kind of put a pressure against the wall. But I realized with the added tape, like the tape, it makes it a little too far. I didn't account for the thickness. I kind of literally forgot about that. But I pushed the washers all the way back, so hopefully... Oh! It works! Okay, wait, let's try the extension. Oh my... Yes, it works. Okay, I'm gonna keep it like this. Cha-ching! It's in! Boom. So this is a success. It's hanging my clothes I wear at night. It's like a little slightly bent over. I think I can fix that, to be honest, just by installing a little bigger washer. I kind of screwed in one of the washers. But overall, I'd call this a big success. It's like much more organized. My floor is empty now. It's all up here. So it's really nice. Yeah, I haven't had to use extension flap yet. I think this is like just enough, to be honest. So maybe I'll use it another time and I'll update you on how that goes. But as of right now, this looks good to me. One thing I didn't account for, which I wish I did, was like these flaps upwards look kind of ugly, but I can always cut them off if I want to. But right now it just looks like this. Nice. I think that kind of wraps up this video because this has been finished. I want to thank Anycubic one more time for sending over their printer. Without them, this would never have come about because my print bed would have never been big enough. So thank you so much for helping out, sending over the printer. It's good. You guys should check it out if you want to. I'll put a link down below on where you can buy it. It's not an affiliate link or anything. It's just their website link because I never got sent an affiliate, I don't think. I think there's a world where I can make it like really slim, like really slim. So it's like much less intrusive. This square is fine, but I can make it much slimmer so it can fit into more like narrow spaces, I think. But maybe that's for the future. Yeah, let me know what you're working on. I'd love to know. If you want to leave a comment down below, feel free. I always try to respond to as many as I can. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to support the channel, give it a subscribe because it really does help this channel grow. There's cool things that are brewing behind the scenes that I think are really cool coming up. So if you're interested in 3D printing and this channel and my journey into this kind of hobby, feel free to drop a comment and subscribe down below. But yeah, see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Till next time.